Hi, fifth grade. We're going to talk about lesson 94 today, which is talking about using a little bit of estimation when we're doing two-digit division here. So we're going to round the numbers here when it comes to trying to figure out how many of a group I have. So when I look at 29, that's real close to 30. So in my head, I'm thinking I have 30 and I have 90 over here. I'm just looking at the first two numbers, which also makes me think of how many 3's can I get out of 9, or how many 30's can I get out of 90, and that would be 3. So I'm going to try 3 first. And then over on the side, I'm going to do my roof times the door ends up on the floor. But because there's two digits, it's easier to just kind of do it over on the side here. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. 87, yep, that works. That's less than 90. Now, if I subtract, and my remainder, or after I do sister subtract, if this number here is more than what's over here, then I need to add another group into that 3. Hopefully I have the right amount of groups that I need and everything. Now, we're going to pull down that 0 like usual. Bring your brother in town, bring him on down. Then he goes back up to Dad. How many 29s can I get out of 30? Well, in that case, I know I can only get 1. 1 times 29 is 29. Sister subtract, and we have, that becomes a 2, that becomes a 10. We have 1 left over. So we have 31 with a remainder of 1. Again, the remainder has to be less than what's over here. Now I'm going to check my work. Check my work. So I have 31 times 29. 9 times 1 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. I'm done with my 9. Nothing's going to be in my 1s column anymore. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Add those together. We have 899. But I have 1 more to add to it because I have 1 left over, and that gives me 900, which is the number that I started out with. Okay, let's look at a few more examples of these types of problems that you might run across as you're doing math. Okay, let's just try 896 divided by 28. All right, so when I look at 896 divided by 28, I want to think about just the first 2 digits and these first 2 digits. So I think this is close to 30, this is close to 90. So if I have 30 and 90, that's like having 3 and 9, which is saying 9 divided by 3 is 3. So we're going to try 3 groups up here. And then, of course, like I said, off to the side, I can do my math. I don't have to mentally do it. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 more is 8. So we have 84. So 84 comes right under that 89. I subtract. I have 5 left over. Brother in town, so bring him on down. Now, how many 28s can I get out of 56? So I can probably do that mentally, figuring it out, but maybe not. So I want to think of this is close to 60, that's close to 30. 30 and 60, I can get 2. So let's try it out. 28 times 2, 16, that gives me 56. And I subtract, and I have 0 remainders. Check my work. Okay, check my work. 32 times 28. 8 times 2 is 16. Carry our 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 more is 25. Done with our 8, so our 0 comes down here. How many? We get 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 3 is 6. Add them together. We have 896, which is what we started with. Okay, that is that's the best way to do that. I know in your book it's going to tell you different things, but if you can just kind of think in those realms of little numbers, little ideas, it might work better. One more problem, and then I'll stop on this concept, and I'm going to talk about a few other things that you guys have been working on lately. All right, so I want to think of the first two numbers, which are 78 and 18. So I'm going to think 18 can round to 20, 78 can round to 80, so there's somewhere around 4. So I'm going to put my 4 up there. 4 times 8 is 32, carry my 3, and again, it's easier to just do your math off to the side than try and do it mentally and mess up. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 more is 7. We subtract, we have 6. We bring down our 2. Now we want to know how many 18s can we get out of 62. So I want to think, okay, 18's close to 20. A nice number there would be 60. So I can get about 3. So that's going to go on the roof. Then I'm going to do my math over to the side. 18 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 more is 5. Put my 54 under that 62. And I subtract. I have more on the floor, go next door, cross it out, you get that 8. So I have 43 with a remainder of 8. And the 8's fine because my divisor is 18, so it's smaller than my divisor. I'm going to check my work again. So I'm going to take 43 times that 18. Forget about your 1. 8 times 3 is 24, carry your 2. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 2 more is 34. I'm done with that 8, so we're going to put a 0 down at the bottom. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. Add those two numbers together. We get 774, but I have 8 more to add into there because I have 8 in the remainder. 12, carry my 1. 7 and 1 is 8. And then bring it on my 7, I have 782, which is exactly what we have right there. Okay, that is the concept for today. Now, a couple things to remind you of when you're doing fractions and when you're doing other types of things. First of all, let's start with exponents. If I have 21 squared, that is not 21 times 2. It means I have 21 one time, I have 21 another time, and I have to multiply those two numbers together. So I have 21 times 21, and when we do the math, then we get 441. So that would equal 441, not 21 times 2, which is 42. Okay, so that's one of those things I wanted to review. Another thing I want to review with you is when you have something like this, let's say it's 5/9 times 4. If I have 5/9 times 4, that's going to look like this. This 5/9 is going to stay the same. And I'm going to multiply it. The 4 is on top over 1 because I have 4 whole ones and there's one piece to each of them. So this is the same as 4. 4 over 1. Okay? And then we could multiply it out. 5 times 4 is 20 over 9 times 1 is 9. Then if I need it in a mixed number, 20 divided by 9. How many 9s can I get out of 20? 2, 18, with 2 remainders, so I have 2 and 2 9ths. 2 and 2 9ths. Okay, that's that other concept. Remember, you just take the big number and put it over 1 because you have one whole one. Each of those is just one whole one. I have 4 whole ones. 4 whole ones. Okay, so when you're doing that type of multiplication, make sure you put that together that way. Let's see. If you have something that says like 1/3 of 2, let's say 2/8, 1/3 of 2/8. Okay, remember of means multiplication. So So you have 1 over 3 times 2 over 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 8 is 24. We can simplify it because I can divide 2 by 2 and get 1. I can divide 24 by 2 and get 12. Okay, so whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom, right? I divide this by 2, I'm going to divide this by 2. And that's like the number 1, right? Okay, so those were just a few little things that I wanted to review with you. Remember, when you add fractions, the denominator stays the same. It doesn't change. All right. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you back here, same channel.